I had this one lady, and she, you know, after she took my inner circle, and she went and signed up. And she told me, she was like, you know what? I asked for my money back. She said, because you was less and you gave way more information. I always tell you, y'all don't need to go nowhere else. I'm going to give you everything that you need. But sometimes, but I totally understand it, because it's really fair.
Yes.
Right. And you think you need more, because when I first learned about wholesaling, I took 4 wholesaling classes thinking I was missing something, just to find out that I only needed that one. So it's a form of procrastination.
But I think the difference between what you do, and I realize this with certain of the people that are online, you make your money outside of being online.
Oh yeah.
So you don't gotta be online.
No. And
this is a privilege.
But I was telling Brandon yesterday, I was like, this might be it this year.
She tired of mentioning. She tired of these lazy people out here not executing.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Millionaire Essentials Podcast, where we give you guys all essentials it is to be a millionaire. You know I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. And it's Tevin Facey. And today we have Dana Christian. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, it's a pleasure, right? Because, you know, we've definitely been waiting to have you on, right? You've been in this industry for a very long time, and appreciate you having.
Dana's always busy.
Always.
You got to book a schedule with her a year in advance.
Oh no, that's a fact.
A year in advance.
Yeah, you can't do it in like a month, 2 months. Nah, it got to be a year and a half.
She's always in another city buying something and traveling. She always busy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, she doing what she doing. She from New York, right?
Yeah.
So she a hustler. She got
born and bred. So this is gonna be a good conversation.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a good conversation.
There we go.
You gonna get comfortable here.
Yes.
I was told a long time ago, when you have 2 first names, you destined for greatness. That's what I was told that a long time ago. You have 2 first names. Tevin Facey. No, not you.
I wasn't talking about me.
Not you.
Nor you. Brandon
Jackson is a
Jackson
first name.
is not a first name. See?
Anyway.
And that's the reason why he said it. He wasn't talking about you. He was trying to talk about himself. He ain't get there yet, though.
So welcome, Dana. We see you out here doing a lot, helping a lot of people, like a lot of people. You one of like the pioneers in this entrepreneur game. When this whole game blew up for people like us, you were one of the people, women actually, that I've seen really take hold of this game as far as an entrepreneur, as far as a business owner, especially in real estate, and really be in the forefront and doing things the right way and really making money and helping people.
And creating content.
Yes.
Yeah, she's been putting out content for a very long time. I mean, it was between, you know, I ain't gonna name drop, but this is my man. It was between you and Haitian CEO at one point. Like, y'all was putting out content like back and forth, nonstop. So, you know, definitely much appreciated for sure.
Thank you.
So, where are you at in your journey as an entrepreneur? Introduce yourself for the people somehow that may not know you. Introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on right now.
So I am Dana Christian. I'm a real estate investor and coach who specializes in out-of-state Section 8 properties using business credit cards.
Nice and simple. Nice and simple.
She rehearsed that. She was in the mirror. I am Dana Christian. Yeah, no, she rehearsed it.
So we talk about business funding a lot, right? There's a lot of people out there talking about business funding. But you're talking about using business funding to actually get an asset like real estate, which you've been doing for a long time.
Hey, make sure you join my 3-day real estate boot camp. On day 1, I'm going to teach you how to pick the perfect market for your situation. Day 2, how to pick the perfect strategy for you. And on day 3, how to use OPM to make it happen.
So let's break that down. How have you been doing this at a high level, leveraging business funding?
So 1, buying properties in markets where you can get properties under really $50,000 when I started in Cleveland, Ohio in 2018. And back then, most lenders, like if you're doing hard money, DSCR loans, they're not going to lend under $100,000. So I had to be creative. So I started using the business credit cards to buy the properties because I really like buying whole properties. But then I do fix and flips using the business credit cards also to pay off the credit cards that I brought with the buying whole properties, because credit cards is a short-term strategy. Correct. So I like to put that out there because, you know, on this journey, I've been doing this. I've been investing since 2006, but 2018 really using the business credit cards. And people hear me online and go buy properties, you know, hear a 30-second clip and think they have all the information and end up messing up their credit, because what happens after the 0% interest is over?
That 26, 25, 22%,
32%.
30%.
And people don't think about that. But yeah.
So that's something you just said. It's a short-term strategy.
Yes.
Break that down. So how do we get to this long-term money, and how do we survive after that year? It jumps up, and how do we keep making money?
Okay, so it's two ways, right? One, you can refinance into a DSCR loan. So that's a rental loan. And DSCR stands for debt service cover ratio, right? So that's a rental loan. Is based on the property, not really your personal too much, meaning like you don't have to have a job. They're not asking for W-2s. Now they are looking at your credit score. It needs to be at least about 680, 700, but they will put you into a 30-year fix.
Yeah, and typically that interest rate is like higher, right?
Like 7%, anywhere between 6 to 7%, but it beats the 28%. But if you're looking at it, it's still a free property, right?
Correct.
Because if you use credit cards to acquire it, now you're going into another loan, and the rent that you receive is going to pay off the loan and still cash flow, right? So that's one way. Well, I'm gonna say three ways. So that's one way. Another way is I do fix and flips. So the profit I make from the fix and flips, I use that to pay off the credit cards, right? Or either you can just roll over to another 0% interest credit card until you pay it off. But the thing with that is, while you doing that process, you're not really getting no extra cash flow. Because let's just say you receive $1,500 in rent. You need to put that whole $1,500 on the credit card.
Correct.
Right? So it might take you 3 years, but it will be paid off, and you will own it free and clear.
Yeah, but you just got to keep recycling.
You got to keep on recycling 0%. Yeah,
12
12 to 18 months, 0% interest credit card. So it's several ways, but just don't get locked in buying the property with the credit card. Now what? Because, you can have a 0% interest and your payment might be $500. Now, once that interest kick in, now you're talking about maybe $1,000 plus.
Right. And I think that's super important, what you said before in the beginning, where you're buying properties that are under $50,000, right? So the one thing that obviously you're doing is you're probably going to states that's outside of New York.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
You're not getting, unless you were all the way upstate.
Correct.
And you got contractors that could go up there. You're not buying anything in New York for $50,000 or less. So where are you focusing now, right? Because obviously it's not New York. So where are you going to buy those properties?
So I'm going to Cleveland, Ohio, and Detroit. Detroit is really still a good market to get properties for really cheap. Like they have an auction that come up, an annual auction every year in September. And you can get properties as low as $900.
Oh, wow.
Right. And of course it go up some, but you can get properties for really inexpensive. And that's one of the only auctions that accept business credit cards. Most auctions, you got to have
Oh, wow. That's it. That's some game right there. I ain't know that.
What you said the date was? I ain't hear you.
So it's like the second week of September.
Okay, so you didn't even tell me the date.
So it's the second week of September. The date ain't out yet, but it's like the second week of September. And that's the only auction that accept credit cards. Most auctions, you have to have cash.
Yeah, you got to have cash or a check.
Yeah, a check. But that's one of the only ones. And I have a lot of mentees that buy in the Detroit auction and sometimes just sell the properties right back, right, without doing anything to the property. So that's a strategy also, because some people think, well, how am I build a team in Detroit? But you can just buy and sell it because you're getting it for so cheap. I had one mentee bought a property for $900 and sold it for $25,000 without doing anything. I had another one that bought a property for $18,000. He sold it for, I think, $37,000. Never even been to Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I do have some mentees that are buying properties rent ready in Detroit and not even going to Detroit and visiting the properties because they're using a trusted realtor, sending them pictures and stuff like
property
that.
Management.
So that's a good point you just said, especially for the people that live in big cities, right? That don't have a big budget and they struggle with getting properties in a city and they want to invest in different cities, but they have that fear. I don't know nobody in this next city. The easy answer is tap it with Dana. But how do you help people get over that fear? How do I go from New York to Ohio or Detroit and I don't live out there?
But you got to just do it. When I bought my first property out of state, 2018 in Baltimore, I didn't know nobody. I knew absolutely nobody.
Baltimore, that was hot.
Yeah.
I was 2018, 2016 to 2019, it was hot.
I went to a real estate meetup and someone mentioned about property. Now, this was in Atlanta, the meetup. Somebody mentioned the properties was cheaper in Baltimore than in Atlanta, and the rents is more. So of course I went down the rabbit hole, finding, looking for properties. So found this auction, Alex and Cooper. So I bid it on the property, $70,000. At the time, the property was worth $134,000, and it was a tenant in it paying $1,200. So that was my first. I said I did my due diligence online.
Right.
Well, you know, really just checking the area, checking the property taxes.
Right. Maybe calling around.
Wow.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't call it. I
You
just
didn't
did
call
that.
around? Okay.
No, and
Okay.
did it on the property. Then afterwards, I broke out in a sweat. I'm like, Dana, what are you doing? You know nobody in Baltimore, but I couldn't let fear stop me.
Right.
Right. And I think, like, just imagine if I would let fear stop me and I wouldn't have bought that property. The tenant is still in it now. Right.
The same one?
Yeah. 7 years later,
Oh,
same
wow.
tenant pays every month on time, and the property is worth, I think, like $197,000.
Wow.
So far, I done made my money back in the rent. So now
Well, your
everything,
first year.
yeah, no. Well, it was $1,200. So my money back in 5 years, I made it back.
Okay, gotcha.
So now everything is profit.
Mm.
So
That's
the
crazy.
question to you: so how do I tell somebody to overcome? You got to just do it. You can't let fear stop you. Like, either you want it or you don't. It's that simple. Like, I ain't about to be.
I think
See, it's easy for us because that's like a New York mentality.
Yeah,
but you speak to a lot of people. She
and
like,
look, and that's what I tell you. Either you want it or you don't. I cannot.
But it's not just a New York mentality.
It's more
though.
of a New York mentality.
It is.
Because
But
we're trained to think like that.
yes, but it is also just that entrepreneurial mentality. Like,
Correct.
you have to, like, you can be in a different state and just have that mentality. I think as long as you have that mentality, it's easy for you to get there.
Yeah.
Right. It's easy for you to be like, all right, forget it. I'm gonna just do it, and that's it. And whatever else happens, I'm gonna figure it out along the way. And I think that happens a lot to us as entrepreneurs, but people that are trying to be entrepreneurs, they try to do that same thing, and then that's where they get caught up. And I think that's where his question of, okay, if they have the fear of doing this, what happens? Because
but I just don't let fear determine, you know, if you move forward or not. You know, because I can't I can't make you. You have to want this for yourself, right? And then always go back to your why. And I was like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Right? So my why, even why I started investing, was I was working at the post office and I had an anxiety attack. And I wanted to leave the post office, but I didn't have any experience. I dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. Only experience I had was cashier, and cashier ain't paying like the post office. And after watching HGTV, I was like, oh, I can do this. I can invest in real estate. So that's what started me on my journey to investing in real estate. And I quickly learned that after watching a television show.
It's way different.
It's way different. But that was my journey. So my why was I wanted an out. I wanted options. Even though I didn't retire from quit the post office right then, and it still was years later, but it gave me options to where if I didn't feel like going to work, I wouldn't go, and I call out leave without pay. They used to be mad because they want to tell you, we ain't paying you. No, don't pay me. And I ain't going. I ain't coming in. So you got to want it for yourself. And that's what it all boils down to. Like, you know, we hear a lot of people with the motivated speaking and stuff like that, but it got to be in you. It got to be in you. And you got to be a thinker. I was like, you have to be a thinker to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And it's not for everybody. It's really not.
Yeah, you got to be able to invest in something. I mean, I always say you can have a 9 to 5, but you have to be able to invest, right? You have to. It's not even have to be able to. You just have to invest. You have to do it, because if you don't, you're gonna get stuck in that rut. You're gonna get stuck in the 100,000, and 100,000 a year ain't enough anymore, neither. No. So especially if you living on the East Coast, right? I'm not even gonna say in New York or New Jersey. If you living on the East Coast alone, 100,000 is not enough. So I think that's something that we have to start to understand as a society, especially with everybody that's coming up now. And I see why people are buying more courses. People are buying something, a challenge or whatever it is nowadays, to be able to get ahead, because it's too far gone. 100,000 is not enough.
And
anymore.
then you think, and even just working a job, once you retire, you're gonna get less than your salary. So if you working a job making 100,000, once you retire, you probably getting $40,000-$50,000, and how you really gonna live?
Right.
And that stuff, stuff that people don't really think about. And I remember years ago, probably, guess I'm telling my age. So in the early 1990s, I was living in the Bronx, and it was this old lady about 60 years old asking for money. And I always said, like, I don't want to be her.
You don't want to be her, yeah.
I don't want to be her, because she was like, she was on Social Security. And I think she was getting like $200 a month.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that would not be me. And I didn't know how, but I just said to myself, like, that would not be me. And I feel like once you make up something in your mind, you know, it's going to happen. And I think I have always lived by any means necessary. I'm going to do what I have to do to take care of my kids and provide a good life.
Yep. That's
absolutely.
amazing.
And I think that's like those words are probably like should be your biggest fear, right?
Mhm.
Fixed income.
Yes.
That means you have no other resources to bring in any more money, and you have to live off the set amount of money every
Yeah,
single
bro.
month.
That's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
That's real scary right
It
there.
is.
That's
It
really
is.
scary.
So
But go ahead.
you've been doing this for a while, right? So I gotta ask you, how much money have you made in real estate?
In real estate,
Yes, in real estate.
couple of million, several million.
What's your best? What was your best year?
So my best year in real estate, probably about 2 million.
So, because this, especially the market is right now, right? It's kind of hard flipping. I think we talked about it a little bit. So real estate and just the market is like cyclical, right? Real estate always going to appreciate to me, just in general, if you look over time. But there's up and downs markets and there's different strategies.
Right.
How do you guide people? And that's people's fears, right? They may get in one time where flipping is hot, and they get in on the tail end. Then they get their first property. Yo, it's a down market, and they lose money. So how do you guide people in the strategy of what to do depending on the market?
So depending on what market you in, then that determine like what price point. So let's just say in the Cleveland, Ohio, right? So if you list a property under $140,000, it's gonna go like this because it's first time home buyers. If you're in Atlanta, anything $250,000 is gonna go quick, right? So it depends on the market that you in. Especially if you're doing fix and flips, but buying homes, people always need a place to live, right? So that's a different strategy. Like you always gonna make money, and that's not gonna determine the market's not gonna determine that, right?
Yeah.
So you always want to buy low, right, and rent high to Section 8.
You specialize in Section 8.
Yeah.
That's another key thing.
Yeah.
So break that down.
She pushed it right to what she doing.
Yeah.
So buy low, rent Section 8, and I'm gonna tell you how to do it.
But that's important though. So
Yeah.
break that down because there's a lot of fears. Like especially when I first started getting real estate, a lot of people are scared of Section 8. Then you see some people that don't look like us, they killing it with Section 8. So break that down.
So a lot of times,
and in different states too.
Yes, and I think a lot of times the fear is the unknown, right? And we automatically feel like, I'm not gonna say me, some people automatically feel like Section 8 is gonna tear up your place. But anybody can tear up your place, right?
Yeah, it can be a regular tenant.
It's really simple.
It'd be the paid tenants.
Yes,
It'd be the one that's coming out their pocket.
Yes.
It'd be the worst.
Yes. Right? So really you find a place, right? And you want it to be affordable because Section 8, like, let's just say if you buy a property for $400,000, Section 8 ain't covering no mortgage for that, right? So let's just say you find a property, $100,000, and you want to rent it for $1,500.
So my single family, just straight single one unit.
Families,
for a single family, right? So once you get the house and it's ready, you let Section 8 know that you have a house that you would like to market to their clients. You send them pictures. Somebody come see it.
Yeah,
if they want it, right? And then they want to know how much rent you want. Inspector come and inspect it. Only thing they check in to see if you have working light fixtures, heat, the outlets work, fire alarm.
Yeah.
Really, really simple, right? And then they pay you your rent. And you're going to get higher rents in Section 8 than you would in market rent. Yeah, but the process is really simple. And, what can somebody really, a hole in the wall, dirty the carpet? You know what I'm saying? What can somebody really do? They burn it down. You got insurance.
It's wear and tear.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, regular wear and tear that any tenant will do to an apartment or house.
Yeah, and I think for the people that think like that, I think they're the people that aren't gonna do more.
Correct.
And you just start to realize that from certain people. When they start to just make certain excuses when it doesn't come to anything that has to do with anything, it's just like, all right, cool. We understand. This was your one-off, and now you're just not going to do it anymore. Yeah. So a question I have for you, right? Obviously, with you specializing in Section 8, the boom in Ohio that's going on right now, right? How are you dealing with a lot of the outside investors coming in now, right? Because Ohio's starting to happen, but obviously you've got your pause.
Outside investors.
No, but she's
one of them.
No, she's no longer an outside investor.
No, but so
she's been there since 2018.
Like probably when you was in Ohio, when I was out there wholesaling, they didn't like us coming in, like especially New Yorkers and all the big city people.
They didn't like us, and then now they love us because guess what? Their properties are praised higher.
They still.
So that's why she's not considered an outside investor anymore. She's
I
been
there
doing
like
it.
us, the people that's actually in Ohio doing
Yeah,
it. She
nobody-
could explain that.
nobody care about that.
Go ahead.
That's true because one time I was this contractor had wrote on the page, on this other contractor page, about a house he did, and he had the nerve to comment, overcharge them because they have no business here. And I'm like, you gonna put this on a page?
Right.
And the crazy thing, I was gonna work with him, but he never showed shade towards me. But I ended up not working with him.
Well,
Whatever.
obviously, that
But yeah,
comment.
but I don't like. I feel like it's enough money for everybody.
Yes.
Right. And there's other nationalities coming in there all the time buying up. So I'm never gonna hate on someone that's coming into that market. You know, it's like it's enough money for everybody.
Well, I mean, we could say it. I'm gonna say
But,
it. If they gonna cancel me, they gonna cancel me. The
Yeah.
Jews is coming in there.
Oh yes.
So when the Jews get into any market, that's when you
Yeah.
start to know that they start to understand that, okay, there's a shift. Because it's certain nationalities that go into certain markets that you can start to see shifts. Because
Yeah.
then once they go in there, then the Chinese start to come.
Yeah.
After the Chinese, then you know, depending on whichever nationality.
Which
starts to
they are
move
all
towards
good
them.
people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
we all
they-
understand
yeah,
and
they
respect.
all
All
good-
they're
they
great
all
people.
good people. But
you
you
know?
know,
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
you
Make sure
start
this
to see
episode
it.
is monetized. They're great people.
Right.
We
No,
love them.
Yeah,
Had a
they're
lot of partners.
They're absolutely amazing.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
I understand when they go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say that.
Yeah. But
I
you
don't
know
think I'm
what?
wrong in that.
It's our people is like the crab in the barrel, right? Because other people like us is gonna hate on each other.
Right.
Versus, I know a whole bunch of, I don't know them personally, but I see a whole bunch of people of other nationalities in Cleveland for years, and nobody don't have nothing to say about them, right? But you hear little stuff, but I'm like, just do you, right? Don't let that stop you if you thinking about investing in Cleveland. Be like, well, the people that live in Cleveland, they're gonna act funny towards me. Don't worry about that. Right? There's good people out there that will definitely, you know, help you along your journey.
And the issue I see with a lot of people that get in real estate, and which you do the best, you have to treat it like a business. They don't treat it like a business. They just say, yeah, I'm a real estate investor or I buy real estate, but you're not treating it like a business.
Yeah.
Like running it like numbers, building your team, not being emotional over the situations and certain deals.
Yeah.
Just the numbers make sense. The numbers make sense. Don't fall in love with the property.
Correct. And you know what? When I first went into Cleveland, and I went out there with an investor in 2018, and when we was looking at the houses, and it was a lot of abandoned houses on the block, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, people was excited. And first I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is trash. But I had to bring myself back to a property that I purchased in 2018. 2008 from an auction in Atlanta. And we used to drive for dollars. So I knew the street. We went to this auction, and everything I originally went for, I got outbidded. But I'm like, I'm leaving this auction with something. And they gave you a list of houses. So we bid it on this property, Ira Street, $87,000. On the paper, it said it was worth $365,000, but that's when all that fraud stuff was going on that before it really came out.
And what year you said this was?
2008.
Yeah.
So we
that was right as
He
So-
was like 10 years old.
after the
something like that.
auction, we go to drive to go see this property. We get on the block. It's 4 houses on the block. I'm like, what did we just buy? But we put a for rent sign in the ground. The house was clean, safe, and functional. We put a for rent sign in the ground. Somebody moved in. They stayed in that house for like 16 years.
Oh wow.
The only reason they moved was because we told them we sold it. Like, back then, I bought it in my personal name. So we sold it to our business, rehabbed it, and Airbnb it now. But now houses on the block are selling for $600,000. So when I went to Cleveland, I had to remind myself that it doesn't matter what the block looked like. People are still going to live there. As long as the house is clean, safe, and functional.
And
because some people want to stay in the hood. Like, that's fine.
I think that works for your model because you are the Section 8 model,
Correct.
right? You're not the fix and flip model. Because if it's a fix and flip model, that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
work,
No.
right?
no.
So for the Section 8, it does. So a question I have, right? Because something you said in the beginning is that you help people buy properties using business credit cards, right? So break that down, right? I mean, for the people that don't know, right, how to even acquire a property, now you're also adding the part of using a business credit card to acquire a property. Can you break that down for the people?
Yeah, so once you find the property that you want to buy, right, you put it under contract, definitely get an inspection done if it's on the MLL list, right?
Yes.
Get an inspection done. When it's time to pay and you get the HUD statement, right, you can go on to a website called PLASTIQ with a Q at the end, right? You put in your credit card information, you put in the title company information because you have to wire the money to where it want to go. Then they want proof. So you upload your HUD statement or purchase and sales agreement if you just put a deposit down or whatever. So you upload it and they wire the money directly to the title company. I've been doing this since 2018. The only time plastic does not work is when you're trying to do a fraudulent transaction, right?
Yes.
If you're trying to do a fraudulent transaction, but as long as it's a real transaction, it works. Like if you have two businesses, you can't send it from one business to the other business.
Exactly. See all these plays people telling them about to do.
Yeah, so it's the thing, like, and people like plastic don't work. What did you try to do? As soon as they tell me something, I was like, you try to put it in your own account, or you try to make up I laughed. You know what? I laughed right quick, right? Because
you done did it.
It's all right. We was there.
Yeah, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a house.
Don't say we. Speak for y'all, bro.
Yeah, and then
the feds is catching up on them old cases.
And then plastic, you know, denied it. They was like, you own both businesses.
Yeah, because they investigate.
One business
they investigate
who's
the business owner.
But now, you know, I was like, you know what? Let me just do it the right way. But I've been using plastic since 2018, without a problem.
See, that's some gems, because there's a lot of people out there doing content, giving people these plays that don't work, or these fraudulent plays that they probably don't even know is fraudulent, but they telling you to do.
Yeah.
And now you do it and you get messed up in the game.
Yeah, correct.
So that's key. That's how you do it the right way.
Yeah, just do it the right way. And I always tell people, go to their website. The information is right there. You have to have proof. And they charge you 3%, but you keep your 0% interest on the credit cards.
Question, right? Do you work with like specific lenders? Or do you refer out specific lenders for your people?
To different banks?
Yeah, no, not for the banks, but for like when you're doing
for real estate. For real estate. What type of lenders you use?
Yeah,
we were on the source.
Yeah, for hard money lenders and DSCR loan. Actually, my husband is a hard money broker. So
all right, cool.
That's why we be so quiet.
There you go.
Money man.
Big ups.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah. We need
okay.
That. Right,
so you got it all in house.
Oh yeah.
She really got it together.
All right. So if the husband do it, what the daughter do?
So my daughter, she does LLCs and she's my assistant. So she's my full back end
all
to everything.
In-house.
What the dog do?
The dog. I don't like dogs.
But say the dog. So, the dog is the security.
Yeah. So definitely all in house. Then my other daughter does credit and funding.
That's dope. So you see, you have it all in house, so it's easy for you to understand. So obviously, she just told us we can't get it. That's basically what she said.
Can't get what?
Her other daughter.
You want a job?
No.
Yeah, give him a job.
No, her other daughter do credit and funding. So
he don't need you, bro.
Yeah,
she don't need you, bro.
I'm sorry. You know we gotta try to plug Millionaire Essentials in. Anyways,
no, but that's fine. No,
But
we can plug you.
Just to let y'all know, Millionaire Essentials, we help business owners get access to capitals. We've been doing this for over 5 years, going on 6 now. If y'all need $0 to $250,000, go ahead, holler at us. Hit the click the link in the bio.
And then you go get a property with Dana. Actually tap into a mentorship and get a property with her.
Yes. But so the reason why I asked that question is because sometimes you know that certain banks or certain lenders, they'll ask for like that proof of funds. So you know, you don't have to spill everything, but how do you get around that sometimes? Because I know when I first started,
different strategy. Everybody say different strategy.
Everybody's
a good question.
Yeah. So you mean by the real estate agent want a proof of funds?
They may want EOD. They may want the EMD or proof of funds, depending on the size of the property.
Yes.
So we get proof of funds.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we get proof of funds. Usually the realtor will kind of really want that.
Yes.
Before they even show you the property.
Like a pre-approval. Let's say
pre-approval.
Yeah, the pre-approval or proof of funds sometimes, depending. Because I know, like, when I first started investing, like, I think it's 2021 or 2018. I forgot which one. But, like, they were so adamant on that. Yeah. Like, you couldn't do anything at all without sending that. So, you know, there's a lot of different strategies.
But if you have credit cards, right? Say if you have a credit card, $50,000 or a line of credit, that's sufficient for a proof of funds.
And I learned that after because you can send the statement and use that. But I didn't. At first, I was
gem. See, people don't really.
Yeah,
that's another gem.
So
say that. Let them break it down.
Yes, break it down.
And that's the thing. Yeah. So if you have, so if you have a credit card with $50,000 or even 2 credit cards, $50,000, $25,000, you can show that as proof of funds or a line of credit. But the problem is most realtors don't understand it.
Yes.
And that's the problem. So you have to really educate them because how many times people come to me, you can't use credit cards. Okay. I've been doing this since 2018. I ain't about to go back and forth with you. Something but the thing is, most people don't understand or don't know. But now let me say this. If you are using a conventional loan, you can't borrow money. Yes, so that's the thing. So you have to go private money, hard money lenders, and it's not a problem where your percentage is coming from.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my fault. That was my problem.
Yeah,
no, I definitely did that on the convention.
Yeah, because when you go to convention, they want to make sure you can afford the mortgage, your DTI, they go way deeper. You know that.
Yeah.
One thing you said that's very key that you kind of glanced over. You made this a family business, and there's a lot of us, especially us, that's out here struggling. We want to do it, but our cousins is messing us over. We don't know how to train our brother, our sister. How did you do that, and how long did that take you?
So honestly, with my kids, it was easy, right? Because they follow my you know, because it's like they gonna follow the lead. And my youngest daughter always say, when I first started using the credit card, she was like, "Oh Lord, mommy going to jail." Like what?
What?
It's leading into something.
Yeah,
keep going.
She's saying, she was
keep going.
Yeah, she was like, mommy going to jail because they didn't hear of it or whatever. But it's like they see me doing it. And it was just easier for them to just follow along. Now, sisters, cousins, that's a different story. Right?
Go ahead,
but
bro.
the kids it was easy. I didn't take no convincing. Because they want to live a good life also.
Did you start her off? No. I'm just asking. Did you start? Because this is a conversation. I was joking, but this is a conversation me and Tevin be having a lot about, especially because of people that look like us. This is newfound wealth now. We're just now getting into the stage of actually knowing what money is and making money. Yeah. So now how do we do that nepotism that all these other coaches been doing and pass that down to our kids and have them get involved in the business? Did you start young with your kids, or did they just, how'd you do it?
So I wouldn't say young with my kids because I'm 56. Right. So
teaching them young. Like, did you start like teaching them from young? Like, I want you to get into business. This how did you start showing them from young?
No.
Okay.
Because remember, she worked at
I worked
at her life.
Yeah,
she said it.
Because I worked at the post office.
She said majority of her life. She worked.
So I wouldn't really say young.
You're right.
So I've been in real estate since 2006. Right.
Okay.
So
they was grown. Okay.
So they was kind of grown in their 20s and stuff like that. So even our first house we flipped, they came over and helped us like clean it out and you know, and stuff like that. But they just saw the lifestyle that it provided and wanted it.
The change of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So for the people out there that have young kids, how do they guide them? And they're business owners now, right? They're full-time entrepreneurs. How do they guide them? And should they guide them into that lane, or should they just be like, you know what? If you want to work a job, if you want to do this, let them do that. What's your advice on that?
So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? So now with my daughters, it was easier, but I got a 21-year-old son.
But he grown already. That's why he grown.
He's 21 now.
Yeah, he living a soft life. Like it's like I'm trying to get him. Like it's like I know he's gonna come into it. Like, and we talk about entrepreneur and stuff like that.
Bro. She gave him everything. That's his fault.
Yes, I created a monster.
Yeah,
but I created a monster. But I believe he gonna turn out good. I believe he is gonna be an entrepreneur. Cause I'll be like, AJ, get a job for the experience. I don't need a job. I'm starting the business. Okay.
But that's good. He just don't have the work ethic.
Has he started that business yet? That he said he been started?
He ain't got the work ethic yet. She give him everything. She give him everything.
He ain't started.
So but I believe he's on the, because
he gonna turn it around.
Yeah, because he look at his mother.
She gonna start it for him. She gonna be like, I hired everybody.
I was just about to say, she gonna start it for him.
Here's a $100K account to start you off.
You gonna have employees.
She gonna do everything for him. That's her baby. I can tell. That's her baby.
Yeah, that's
her baby.
Look, the father over there. Boy, if that boy don't get to work,
But I feel that kids should turn it, grow into their own. Right. And I believe he's going to turn around. But for my daughters, I think it was easier because they was older.
Yes.
Right. So my youngest daughter, she still work a job part-time. She's a school teacher.
Okay.
But she
and that could be something
estate.
She loves.
Yeah. Yes. And she loves it. So my oldest daughter, when I think 2018, I asked her to quit her job to work with me. So she was a nurse.
Oh.
Right.
Oh,
so
wow.
she kind of just followed the lead.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't hard with them, but it's
you quit at the wrong time too, because 2019
Well, she had a good leader.
till now.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
She had
them
a good
contracts.
Mm-hmm.
You right. Them
Yeah.
contracts, it'd have been some
Mhm.
good
Well, as a
money.
nurse, right? Yeah, the nurses
Yeah.
was killing it
Yeah.
during that
But
time.
now they still killing it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the
The
travel
contracts,
nurses and all
yeah.
that.
But
Yeah.
now, she had more time because she's a mother,
Exactly.
so more time to spend with her
Exactly.
children and stuff like that. But I don't think she regretted. She said,
Yeah.
right.
Hey, she's doing what she gets to do. She got the exclusive limited
Yeah.
edition Adidas on
Yeah,
too.
right.
So she rocking out. But I feel that same way. So right
Mhm.
now I've been bringing my daughter around because I have a project in
Mhm.
Jersey. I got a project in Philly, so I've been bringing her to
Mhm.
those projects so she can see.
Mhm.
But I start to realize she's not as business savvy. Like she
How old is
doesn't.
she?
Bro, she's 8, bro.
No, she likes. Wait, but
Like,
hold up.
did he just say that?
No, but hold up.
She's 8.
But hold up.
18.
No, because
19.
all right. So at 7,
Mhm.
she wanted to sell drawings
Mhm.
that she had.
Mhm.
So I started to realize that side of her, and then now she's more on like the artistic design side. So
Mhm.
like even now, even our current home that we're doing our
Mhm.
renovations on, we'll ask her for her advice,
Okay.
and she'll do it, and we'll see it, and we'll be like, oh, it turned out nice.
Mhm.
So we start to realize, I think she's just more of a design person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and
Yeah.
I start to realize that over time, but it's cool.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
seeing the
Mhm.
progress.
He putting a lot of
Pretty
pressure on her, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey,
I
you
mean,
ain't
I
business
think-
savvy yet? You
yeah,
ain't know
I
the
think-
numbers yet?
Yeah, I think girls,
No,
it's just
girls-
easier. It's just
Super.
is easier.
Super.
Yeah. But even like my grandsons, they like going to the projects and, we ask them what a fix and flip and stuff like that is. And they can tell you. So hopefully they stay interested,
Yeah.
in that
Not
stuff.
like your son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They gotta understand the end goal. I think once
Yeah.
they because that's kind of like my daughter, right?
Yes.
Once
Yeah.
I started getting to understand this how I make money.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like it's clicking a little bit more.
Yeah.
So she's kind of understanding. All right, this is what you do to make money. I want money.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's
Mhm.
starting to click a little bit more.
Yeah.
A question I have for you. Now you go into these other cities. I kind of want to backtrack to
Mhm.
that. Detroit, Ohio, a lot of these Midwest cities or smaller cities, there's a lot of impoverished people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of times we bring our people out there from our cities
Mm-hmm.
or other big cities to come buy in there, like he was just saying.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about, or do you feel a need to actually go into those cities and say, I want people from here to learn this and start buying up because they have the firsthand opportunity?
Mhm.
Is that something that you do or you think should happen?
It should happen, but a lot of times people can't see the treasures in their own city.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mhm.
Because I know a girl that live in Cleveland. She was like, "Why are you buying out here?" And I
Mhm.
think back to Harlem when they were selling brownstones for $1, and we was like, "Nobody want this stuff." So a lot of times the people in the city, they don't see it.
Why you think that is?
I don't know. I have no idea. They just don't see it.
Yeah.
And another lady
that's like
told me
New
before.
Yorkers. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
A
No,
lot of
but
people in
it's-
New York don't want to buy in New York.
Yeah, they just
But we know
but
why.
we have the best appreciation.
But we know it's literally a lot of people can't really afford it. So if you
Yeah.
go in those cities, it's actually affordable no matter, even if you're not making that
but
much
you
money.
know what? But
50,000, you could get that.
But a lot of
You
them
know
is
what I'm
not
saying?
making that much
Yeah,
money
but you gotta
either
think
to really afford
They're
it.
making 40,000 out there, 50,000 maybe.
Even making 40,000, that's what I'm saying. The cost is like when you go to other countries. You can buy more
You're
with less.
saying that as an entrepreneur, you're saying that as a person that has a different mindset. 40,000 for them is not enough. 40,000 for them, they're barely paying for their food. They're barely paying for the house that they live in. If their kids have any extracurricular activity, they're barely paying for that. Like that's not enough money for them in their mind that they think, if I stop these things for now, I can save up and I can get something.
Yeah.
That's not their thoughts. They don't even think like that. So I understand why that girl said to you, why are you buying in Cleveland?
Mhm.
She might be making 70, 80,000 a year and be able to afford her rent, but she still wants to buy designer stuff because she
Mhm.
wants to look good. She wants to have the better car because she wants to
Yeah.
look good in her city.
Mhm.
It's just the mindset that they have.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot. They're not there yet. And we
Yeah.
have to, and a lot of
whose fault you think that is? Who you think is to blame for that?
parents, maybe.
Yeah, but you know what? But parents can't teach you what they don't know, right? So
And that's why I
when
said I don't-
think
That's
about
the easy answer, but go ahead.
But it's
I
but it's
think
the truth,
It's deeper
right?
than that. You're right.
Because when I think about even credit, right? My mother, she had bills in our name, so she didn't know anything about credit. My grandmother gave me a Macy's credit card, told me to buy clothes for the kids when they needed something, never co-sign for anyone, and pay your bills on time. So that's all I knew. But that led me to bankruptcy because I thought credit was to buy stuff that I couldn't afford. So if nobody's really teaching you,
and that's something I want to cover.
Yeah. So if nobody's really teaching you, how do you learn?
Exactly.
You know, now with the internet, now we're learning now
Right.
because of the internet and there's so much knowledge out there, but things have to be passed down. So I know moving forward, none of my children, my grandchildren will have bad credit because my children don't.
Right.
Right. And they children won't. So moving forward, I know the bad credit stops with me filing that bankruptcy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it comes from home because they don't teach it in school, which
not
they
at
should.
all.
They don't teach budgeting, anything like that. And one thing I did teach the kids when they was young, and my son too, actually, like give them a certain amount of money and you had to budget it, you know, for to the next week.
Budgeting is
so of
very
course
important.
they, you know how to budget, and they kind of start with budgeting and realizing, you know, you need your credit. And that's one thing, even though my son ain't get there yet, but he know about the credit. Because I asked him something about his credit. He was like, you ain't messing up my credit. I was like, what? Like, I helped you build your credit when I told him, you know, I wanted him to do something or whatever. But we got to just teach the kids and move forward. And just know credit can always be restored, rebuilt, repaired. Because so many times people my age will have bad credit and think it's over. But no, it's not over.
No, it's
you
not.
can still fix your credit. And I always tell people too, like, in 2025, if you don't have good credit, you're not teaching your kids, you selfish. Because the information is out here and we have to just stop being impatient.
Yes, yes. So something you touched on was the bankruptcy, right? How, like, first of all, you know, congratulations for getting out of that, right? Because a lot of people, when they get into that mindset, once that happens, it's like,
it's over.
Damn, it's like, it's over. Yeah, because I've spoken to people about it's just, it's hard. So how did you get out of that? Like, that's my first question. And then secondly, how did that transform like your mindset to be better now? Like, cause you're way more fearful now.
Yeah. What, filing bankruptcy?
No, you're just fearful.
I mean,
you're fearful. You're fearful now.
All right, so let's say how I filed.
Because some people use it as a strategy. I don't know if that's what you did.
Yeah, no, that which is true, but no. So I filed.
She ain't know about it back then. As a strategy.
So I filed bankruptcy in 2000, right? So I was working at the post office, and I had a little incident where I got arrested, and I went on suspension for 2 years while my case was going on, right? So I lived off of my credit. So when I went back to work, and I was like $45,000 in debt, I'm like, I ain't paying this. So that's when I filed bankruptcy. Then after that, back then I didn't know about credit repair. So I just let the stuff age off and started building my credit back up. So I got like a secure credit card from Capital One, gave them like $1,000. They held it for 18 months. After the 18 months was over, they gave me back my $1,000, gave me a $1,000 credit card. Then I applied for another one and they gave me $3,000 and just went from there. And like, and then 2004, I was able to buy my first primary resident because I moved to Georgia. And then in 2016, I got an equity line of credit and started investing. So that's where I got the money to invest in, right? So after I filed bankruptcy, like I always had good credit. So because of that incident, that's why my credit kind of got messed up, and just really been conscious about it.
Life is life sometimes.
Because like my grandmother said, always pay your bills on time, because I was just using it to go shopping, vacation and stuff like that. And at a point in time, I had to live off of it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then, well, I mean, obviously because of that incident, I mean, your mindset still shifted. So what do you like? How did you feel before and after? Like, what was the difference?
So the difference really came when I learned that I can use credit to invest, right? Because even with the equity line of credit, that's credit to invest, right? Correct. So knowing that I just needed to keep my credit good so I'd be able to buy houses, to use it to create cash flow. Because let's be real, it's hard to save money.
Right.
Hold up. Don't stop it. Keep it going.
Yeah. There we go.
Don't stop it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really hard to save money. You know, and I always tell people it's easier to get even $20,000 in credit versus to save $20,000. So it's better fix your credit, and then you can get access to funding and use that to invest, because everybody needs another stream of income.
Yes.
So I got a question. Take us through the process, right? Because you were very, very humble beginnings. We all former city workers as well.
Yes.
So that's what I like about you. You're super relatable, right? Super humble. I almost want to use the other H word. hood, right? 'Cause I asked her about a steakhouse yesterday. She was like, steakhouse? I'm going to BBQ's. I was like, all right. She's like, steakhouse?
Right,
I
the
bet.
chopped cheese. What you
I'm
talking
going to
about?
get a chopped cheese. What
I
you
ain't gonna
mean?
hold you. I ain't
From
had
the
chopped
corner
cheese in
store.
a minute.
What?
I ain't had a chopped cheese
want
in a
the
minute.
dirty food.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
So,
that joint be fire too.
and that's what's great about your story. For the people out there that's at the post office, that's at the grocery store, that's working a 9-to-5, very humble 9-to-5. What is your process? Where should they start? How are you taking them from there to say, let's go get a property in Cleveland?
Yeah, like zero to hero on this.
Okay. So one, assess your resources. How much time do you have? Because how much time you have determine what strategy you're going to use, right? And then your resources as to, do you have money? Do you have credit? Because you need some type of money to buy a property. So let's just say a person be like, okay, well, I got $30,000 in my retirement account that I can borrow against if they work in a job. So get that $30,000, right? Pick a city. If you're in New York City, we already know that it's too expensive. So pick a city like Baltimore, Detroit, Cleveland, Alabama, Tennessee, somewhere where you can find properties under $100,000. So just go to Zillow, right? Put in the city and state, and in the filter for prices, put under $100,000 and see what pops up, right? So you see what pops up, and then go to HUDuser.gov and see how much rent you can collect in that state for that zip code.
HUD user, HUDUSER.
.gov. And see how much rent you can collect, right? So once you decide, all right, so
that's for Section 8. That's for government income.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
So let's just say that you say, okay, so I'm going to Detroit, zip code 44248. I'm just making the zip code up, right?
Yeah.
And I see that I can get $1,600 a month for a 4-bedroom apartment. So now I'm gonna go back to Zillow and look for a house in that zip code.
That's a 4-bedroom.
That's a 4-bedroom because I know how much rent I can get, and I'm looking for something under $100,000. So once it come up, it's gonna be a realtor there. So you contact the realtor and ask them to send you pictures. If there's no pictures up there, now the realtor is gonna ask you for a proof of fund. So that's when you need to contact us to get us a proof of fund, because they ain't gonna show you that house without a proof of fund.
Yep.
And then once you show them the proof of fund, you put the property under contract, you get an inspection done, and you close. It's really simple. It's really
you make it
simple.
seem so simple. So I don't know why people out there ain't doing it.
Right.
Because they scared.
It's the fear.
It's the fear. It's the fear. And I remember
fear of losing money. They scared the
but
fear.
You know what?
I don't think it's the money. I don't think it's the money.
It's definitely the money.
But
if you talk to city workers, the people on the job, go ahead. It's definitely the money.
But it's probably the fear of the money, but you're gonna lose money anyway.
Yes.
You gonna
don't look at it like
you're gonna lose money, and they worry about their credit.
I didn't see people lose money doing all time. I didn't gamble with people. They gambling every week. I say, yo, let's go invest in a property. For what? No, I ain't trying to lose my money. They gambling every week.
You know why? Because they don't understand the process, right? You just think about me growing up in New York City, in the projects. I don't nobody own no houses.
I think it's a fear of failure.
Yeah, own a house.
Yeah, that's
No, not money. Failure.
But the thing is, most
going into
people
something new
is already at the bottom level. How lower can you go?
Right.
How much low can you can't go no lower.
You can't get no
only
further.
can go up. You know what I'm saying? So
They
you're
don't
gonna
see
take
it
a
like
chance on yourself, or you not.
And I think it's positioning too, because I'm not even talking about the bottom level people right now. The people that's in opposition, the city workers, if you essentially working a city worker, you're making so-called middle-class money. You have a retirement. That's the best positioning for you to go into a Detroit and Cleveland, because you show you got stable income. You got a retirement. You could get a property easily. And if you got a decent credit score, you in the best position.
And you have a backup funds.
You in a perfect position to invest in any of these small cities. They love a person like you.
Yes.
And people don't realize that.
Yeah, but I think it's really just, you gotta surround yourself with like-minded people.
That's what it is,
right? That's the thing,
Yes.
and you got to get into communities with people that's invested, right? So you have someone to talk to about what you're interested in doing, right? Because even when I bought my first property in Baltimore, and it was my birthday weekend, and I was talking to two of my coworkers. And the crazy thing is, now we're talking about 2018. I've been investing since 2006. I never told anybody I own rental properties.
Oh, wow.
Because it wasn't a conversation. Like, they wouldn't
It's
understand
never
it.
gonna come up.
So when I was talking to the two ladies, so they was like, what you doing for your birthday? I was like, oh, I'm closing on a property in Baltimore. Why you doing that? Who you know in Baltimore? I was like, I don't know nobody in Baltimore. Suppose they don't pay. I said, suppose they do pay. Right? So I already know you have to watch the people you talk to, because they're going to discourage you. But suppose I wasn't strong-minded, and I would have thought, well, suppose they don't pay. and I wouldn't have did it.
And you know what I realized too, especially us, we have to lead with success.
Correct.
Because we could talk
Yeah.
about some sweet blue in the face. If they don't see you successful doing it, they think it's BS. So it's positioned with us too. We have to be in a position to be able to influence.
Yeah.
That goes back to our conversation we had a while ago about the kid that sees a person that they want to idolize after, right? Because if they see a person, let's say they see a person like you, Dana, that before the jewelry, before everything, and you were working at the post office, but don't know you have a bunch of rental properties, and they go, hey, I want to learn real estate from you. But then somebody else comes along that has the jewelry on, that has everything on, that maybe has one rental property, and say, yo, yeah, they're gonna talk to that person. And like you said, if we have to leave it with success, sometimes it's not the right model.
Yeah.
Because then now
So
it becomes.
when I say lead with success, I don't mean appearance wise. Like when you have it, you can look regular, but now when you talking, you have to mention you have 500 doors. That has to be a mention because now you have to prove you're doing what you're doing. So that's what I mean leading with success. You have to say, yeah, by the way, I have 500 doors and I'm making 100,000 a month.
Right.
You have to say that.
So that makes more sense.
But you know what? Sometimes people think that's so far-fetched and they're going to think you lying.
Yes.
They be like, oh,
and
they
that's
lying.
Another thing. That's another thing.
And that's,
But I mean, that's just the name of the game, right? I mean, you've been in this game long enough. Like I said, you, a Haitian CEO, you guys were the two I used to watch. So knowing that you guys you've been in this game so long, right? How do you feel like the client now that you receive compared to back then? What's the difference?
Is there a difference?
You know something?
And is there a difference?
And you know what? I noticed a lot of people say they've been following me for years and they finally decide to join something. So I think they just want to see that I'm consistent.
Yes.
Or not sure. They might have went somewhere else and be like, it wasn't what I thought it was. Maybe because they was showing the flash.
Right, exactly.
Or was talking about they owning 1,000 doors and just that and the other. And maybe I wasn't appealing because, all right, she only owns 60 and this person owned 1,000.
Yeah.
So I'm going over there. But, and what was the other question you said?
What is the difference between the clients back then and the people now?
So it ain't really no difference. It's the same. It's the same people, right? That follow me from, because I'm noticing now most people been following me for a while, right? Because I've been running ads, so it's always new people, but they coming through ads, so they have to follow me for a while, take 1 million of my free classes, and then decide that, you know what, I want to do this, or something might happen where they lost their job, and be like, I lost my job. So now I need to do this, or now I'm close to retirement, and I had a meeting. Or I had a meeting, and I found out that from retirement I'm only getting $2,000, and how can I survive with that? So now I need some rental properties. So a lot of time people come when they need it right now, and I be like, it takes a while to see success because you see every time. You know, you see me after doing this since 2006 and see the success. Even though once I got a mentor, I was able to buy 15 properties in 1 year because I learned the strategy of business credit cards and learned the strategy of going out of state. So it's definitely possible, right, to do it.
It took time
but it just takes time to get there. And a lot of time people want the microwave. And I'm like, you don't work the job for almost 30 years and you still
want a microwave. Like what?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it can definitely happen, but you just have to be consistent.
How do you, in this day and age of marketing, how do you separate yourself? Because there's a lot of people out there that talk a good game and they don't deliver. How do you separate yourself from those people?
What people? So you know what? And you know why I say that?
That's New York.
You know what?
That's New York mentality right there.
You know what I said? Because people? I don't pay attention to what nobody. I don't pay attention to what nobody else is doing. Because somebody asked me the other day, "What's the difference between what I do and somebody else?" I said, "I don't know what they do. I know what I do." Right? So I don't really try to compare. As soon as somebody comes to me, ask. I don't want to hear, you know, because I'm gonna be honest with you. It all boils down to what are you doing? Because the information works. Right. But what are you doing?
Right.
Right.
As a consumer.
What did you do? Did you work the work? You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, I don't know what people you're talking about.
Gotcha. Because I say that too. Then I say, why didn't you go with them then?
Yeah. Yes. So somebody, when they ask, I'll be like, just go. And then I notice they always come back.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
It always, you know, because
I
had this one lady and she, you know, after she took my inner circle and she went and signed up. And she told me, she was like, you know what? I asked for my money back. She said, because you was less and you gave way more information. And she said she asked them for her money back. And I was like, I always tell you, you don't need to go nowhere else. I'm going to give you everything that you need. But sometimes, but I totally understand it because it's really fair.
Yes.
Right. And you think you need more. Because when I first learned about wholesaling, I took 4 wholesaling classes thinking I was missing something just to find out that I only needed that one. So it's a form of procrastination.
I think the difference
could be
between,
the messenger too.
But I think the difference between what you do and I realize this with certain of the people that are online, because we have to interview them, right? So we have to learn about these people.
We don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You be wanting to.
Well, we have to. We interview and we got to learn about them.
Okay, right.
You make your money outside of being online.
Oh yeah.
So you don't gotta be online.
No. And
this is a privilege.
Well, I was telling Brandon yesterday, I was like, this might be it this year.
She tired of mentoring. She tired. She tired of these lazy people out here not executing.
Yeah.
Bro,
but and that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really invest in real estate.
Yeah, and you make your you don't have to worry about the song and dance. You don't gotta get on there dancing and doing all this extraness for people just to tap into you. You make your money outside of the people doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's how, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that's how you're able to really solidify your brand, because I see you market a lot, but you don't do a lot of crazy lifestyle, over the top lifestyle marketing like a lot of people. And you live the same type of lifestyle, but you don't do the over the top fancy, which, you know, it's the lane for everybody, but you don't do that a lot. How do you help people, or do you give advice for people that are getting successful in real estate and building brand and stuff like how you did it, or you don't do that?
No. So I don't help with like building brand in real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. Just strictly investing in real estate just for extra cash flow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, because I don't want people coming to me because I drive a Rolls Royce. Right? I had the Rolls Royce for 2 years before I even posted it.
Oh, we didn't even ask you all that. But
yeah,
damn,
but you know, before I even posted, because I don't want people, right? I don't want people.
Where you living?
Right?
Might have to call her when we get
So
down.
I don't want people to invest.
She rent them out though. She do rent them out.
I don't rent it out.
Oh, you don't rent it?
No, that's my
I
car.
thought
You don't need to.
No, I didn't say she had to, but you was renting cars.
Years ago,
You making money off of that.
2019, I think 2020.
Real estate.
Okay, because I'm
crazy. Real estate going crazy.
Yeah, but because I don't want somebody to come to me because what I have. Come because you want the information. Because there's a lot of groupies out there. People just want to be around. Right? So do you really want this information? Yes, it can change your life. And I understand you have to show the fruits of your labor, you know, and stuff like that. But I don't want people to come to me because we're like, oh, she drive this car. And to be honest, I think a lot of my audience want time freedom.
Yeah, you get online, you talk the real. Like,
yeah, they want
relate
time.
to you.
They want time freedom. They want vacation. They want to be able to leave their job and have some extra money. So I don't think a lot of my audience really care about the Rolls Royce. A lot of them, my Range Rover is their dream car. You know what I'm saying? So if I just show the Range Rover, a lot of people like, that's their dream car. You know, just having a brand new Toyota Camry. You know what I'm saying? 2025. Yeah. So I think that's a lot of my audience. And honestly, those are the people that's really going to put in the work. Versus the people that's just coming because, okay, she drive that, I want to work with her. No, it's going to be a while before you get this car right here, you know?
I think I want to ask you too. So you actually moved, right? You made a migration to another state. Now, because this dude right here, he got something against, you know, I can say what state? He got something, you live in Atlanta, right? So he got something against, you know, Atlanta people. But I noticed, you know, over the time, over the years.
Yo, what are you talking about?
A lot of us, you know, it's a melting pot for us as far as business success. Now, did that help your journey? Was that the plan, or was that before you really started going crazy and investing? What was that kind of journey like?
So I moved to Atlanta 2004.
Oh, so you've been there.
Yeah,
so you was at the post office in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I started I transferred the post office to Atlanta. So
you ain't do your research, bro?
Yeah, and the reason I moved to Atlanta because the cost of living was cheaper than in because we was living in Westchester, New York.
Okay.
So Yonkers. So the cost of living was cheaper. So that's why we moved there, and I transferred my job. And then again, after I had the anxiety attack at the post office, I was like, you know what? Let's get
was
into
that in Atlanta?
It was in Atlanta. And actually, I gotta give props to my husband. It was his idea to invest in real estate. It wasn't mine. It was all his idea.
Big ups. Big ups.
You know, I like to take all the credit. Like, it was my idea, but, you know, it's his idea for us to, you know, really invest in real estate. But I don't really be out like that. Once in a while I go out because it can be exhausting. Like,
I mean,
last
you ain't a YN. You ain't like this dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a YN.
You ain't gotta be all at the spots. You know what I'm saying?
actually unk now. If they categorize it, I'm unk. I'm unk now.
So how do you feel about migrating, and should people, if they trying to, you know, get into another level, should they get out their environment? Should they migrate, or should they try to do it where they're at? What's your opinion on that?
So you can really do it where you at. Wouldn't really say Atlanta helped me. It depends on now what you're doing, right? If you want to network with people, so yeah, but you can always take a flight to go to an event.
Exactly.
Right? But I feel like you should network with people, especially people that's doing the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
I think, you know, you should do that, but you don't really have to move to do that, because a lot of times when people come to Atlanta that lives up here, they be like, oh my goodness, this is exhausting. How do you do this all the time? I said, I don't.
And
you know what I'm saying? I'm only out because you out.
Too.
Yeah, you start overspending, trying to keep up, feeling like you have to have that.
You gotta have a nice car. You gotta have a designer.
Oh, yes. Because to be honest, a lot of people in Atlanta and that scene is kind of shallow.
Right.
Shallow. You know what I'm saying? Where they look at what you drive to determine what you have. And a lot of people is probably just barely making it. I know several people that's just barely making it that have these big houses and these cars and stuff like that.
What's his name?
Trying to keep, trying to keep up for the gram. You know what I'm saying? Where it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, run your own race.
Yeah, and so that was kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I don't care to go to Atlanta or move to Atlanta, because for me, you can do the same thing here. You just gotta have the same drive.
Yeah.
I feel like when you go to other places, you do start to overspend, because now, all right, cool. Let's say your cost of living goes down, so you're not 100,000 isn't 100,000 over here, 100,000 over there. Cool, you can make it better, but now you're gonna spend more, because now you're gonna get a better car because you have extra money.
Yeah.
You're gonna start to buy more stuff because you have extra money. If you're in somewhere that you can do it and you don't have to go somewhere different, then I suggest just staying where you're at and then move once you've gotten to that place of doing so.
And you know what? It's natural. Like, if you see somebody with something, you're going to want it, right? Because I think about when we bought our house in 2004, and we would go to our neighbor's house, right? So we had our bedroom set, our living room set that we brought down from New York, and our sunroom. Now, we got a 5-bedroom house, so only 2 rooms was furnished. We would go to our neighbor's house, and their houses is fully furnished. And I was ready to go furnish my house, my whole house. And my husband was like, no, we not doing that. So, but it's easy to see somebody else with something and you want to do it, right? But then I look at now where I'm at financially and where they at financially, a total different, you know, space and stuff. But, you know, moving to Atlanta, being around those people, you might be like, you know what, I can afford this car. Let me go get this car.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it could be peer pressure.
Question: is your nationality from America, or are you somewhere else?
So my grandfather's from Trinidad.
Big ups.
Yeah. You from Trinidad?
No, you're not.
I'm Jamaican.
Oh, you Jamaican? Yeah, but people always ask, but I never been, but want to go. But my grandfather, my mother calls from Trinidad. No, he's from Yonkers. No, he's from U.S.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's dope. But the only reason why I asked that is because, I mean, it's a conversation we have always. It's just we have a different drive, right? We just have a different drive. I mean, Black Americans too.
What you mean about we?
As an Islander, you are an Islander, bro. I hate when you
about we, bro.
We do this all the time. Bro, you Bayesian, bro.
Why you be trying to separate people, bro? You did that a couple times in this podcast.
I do, because there has to be a separation sometimes. There has to
this
be.
This podcast has to get monetized, bro.
And good. It's going to get monetized the same way. It has to be a separation. We can't always try to put everybody
don't
together.
Say that. Don't say that. What you mean it has to be a separation? You sound a little light skin right now.
No.
What you mean it has to be a separation?
It wasn't no
light skin. You sound a little light skin right now. I ain't going to lie.
Light skin or dark skin. No, it's just it has to be a separation because...
You picking up what he putting down? What he talking about?
No, but you know what?
No, I'm going to do it. Black Americans and Caribbeans, we have different drives.
But what you mean by has to be a separation? What you mean by that?
So you know what?
Because people bunch us together. And that happens.
The only people that bunch us together is the white people. We don't bunch ourselves together.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. That is the issue. We definitely don't. Caribbeans don't like Americans. Africans definitely don't like Black Americans. Like it's a separation.
Yeah, but exactly. That's why.
But you saying we have
just said
to.
it. He just said what I said.
But no, because maybe I'm getting what you're saying wrong. You're saying we have to. I'm saying no, we don't. You're saying we have to.
I'm saying we have to in the sense of when somebody looks at us, but in together we do need to stay together. But
you were saying the opposite.
No, I wasn't.
That's what it sounded like.
Okay, in your mind, but in my mind, it ain't sound like that. Anyways, yes, you were saying, Dana. She forgot what she.
Yeah, I forgot what I said. But
money.
like the drive, I'm not sure if it come from the island in us, right? Because I do know some. Well, you know what? I can't say that because I don't really know if they have some island in them. But it's just the drive have to be in you, no matter whatever.
Where you come from.
It have to be in you to where you have to want more.
Right.
Right. So I think that's the bottom line. And a lot of times people just get so comfortable and be like, well, I didn't have it, so I'm okay without it. It must not be for me. A lot of times we adapt, some people adapt that type of mindset, but it have to be in you. And it goes back to your why. Is it strong? Do you know what I'm saying? What do you want for you and your family? And I think that's what it boils down to, if you're going to put in the work or not. And don't be scared. Realize if you work it.
Right.
But you have to stay committed.
Facts.
So I have to ask you, what do you think the essentials is to be a millionaire?
Discipline, good credit, education. When I say education, I don't mean going back to college. Just education on what you want to do and putting in the work.
So those 4 things: discipline, education. What was it? What was the next one?
Education,
putting in the work, and
credit and good credit.
Yeah.
How you feel about education as far as college?
I dropped out in the 9th grade.
Oh, sorry. Wrong person asked.
And I make more.
But I'm saying she may look at it different for her kids. In general, people out there.
No, so when I say education, I mean educate on whatever it is you want to do.
Right.
So I don't mean really going back to college. Going to college don't guarantee you a job. I know a lot of people went to college that's broke. So just getting the education on what you want to do, but not really going. I don't have nothing against college if that's what you want to do.
That's what I'm at. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't have anything against it. Like, I ain't going. But I don't have anything against
you. Need to.
Yeah. But yeah.
So what do you have coming up as far as helping the people, as far as getting them into real estate?
So I have a 3-day boot camp coming up, one in August, one in September. So every month I have a 3-day boot camp coming up, and it's absolutely free. It's absolutely free. No reason for you not to register. It's 3 days. On the first day, we go over how to pick the perfect market for you. Day 2, we go over how to pick the perfect strategy for you. Because sometimes you hear people say, you need to fix and flip, you need to buy and hold, you need to wholesale. So how to pick that perfect strategy for you, and then how to use other people's money to make it happen.
Dope. So that's a 3-day challenge. When is that coming up?
August 18th through the 20th. I don't have the date yet for September and October, but probably the 3rd week or something.
Okay, I got you. So August 18th to the 20th, and then in September as well. So you got these coming up every month.
Every month, 3 days to help people.
So they don't got no excuse.
No excuse.
If you miss this month, you get next month. You get the month after that.
And keep
Y'all
going.
ain't got no excuse. She's not leaving no room for excuse.
And guess what? If you don't sign up after, it's more to come.
Yeah.
It's more to come.
Yeah.
You still doing the real estate tours? I know you was doing tours at one point, right?
Yeah, she was going crazy.
Yeah. So I do have one coming up in August 16th, but that one is in Detroit because we're getting ready for Detroit auction. But that one is basically sold out because that was really for just people in the community. I didn't really advertise it to.
Oh, so you have a community as well? Oh, dope. So tell the people about the community.
Oh, yeah. So I have a community, Dana Elite Academy, where everything real estate, credit, and funded. And we have mindset calls with that also because we got to get your mind right. So every Monday morning we have mindset calls because I think that's what's really holding people back and people in their own way, just believing that they can't do it.
Yes.
I got to ask, what was that turning point when you was like, all right, this is it. I got it. This is what I want to do. I just found it.
And as far as real estate?
Yeah, real estate.
So I think the turning point was when I was able to call out from my job and tell them not to pay me, that I need to make more money, when I started investing in real estate.
You said that.
Yeah, so that was the turning point where I'm like, I want to live my best life. So that was the turning point, just having options. And that's what it's all about. And people always ask me, like, how many houses do you want? What's your number? I don't have a number. I'm just constantly buying. I don't have a number. So I'm not setting limitations on myself.
I got a question also before we wrap up. How important is it having a great partner, right? Because you talked about your husband and he's been helpful. He's the one that put you on the real estate. How important is it having that person there?
So it's definitely important having someone to talk to that's on the same page, right? Because a lot of times I would hear, because there's a lot of females in my community, and they would say their husband don't understand, right? And of course, I'm not going to tell nobody to go against their mate and stuff like that. But it is important to have someone that's on the same page as you, right? And there are a lot of single women that's out here doing that too. And the reason I mention that is because there's somebody saying, well, I can't do it, and Dana can do it because she's married.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. But there are single women doing it. Like in November, I'm going to put on an event, Women in Real Estate, and it's all single women that's speaking, that's doing it in real estate, right? So people can just see they can do it without having a mate.
That's dope.
Yeah, but everybody that's going to be on the panel investing in real estate and unmarried.
And they're unmarried. That's dope.
So that leads into another question. Because we can get deep with that.
You gotta go ahead all day.
Do you give any advice on women, like as far as looking for their mate while they're struggling while they're scaling in business, or while they're trying to be successful in business? Because that's difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I have nobody have ever asked me. But no.
Wow. Well, you know what? We
can leave it there. Yeah, we can leave it there. We can leave it there.
Because I feel like we can.
That could go down a whole rabbit hole.
The whole rabbit hole. Yeah. But you know what? We're not gonna do that. We've had you here more than long enough. We appreciate you for coming in for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you.
This is one of the interviews we really wanted. Right, even though we had to wait like a year and a half.
Yeah, we had to get on the calendar.
We had to contact
everybody.
Contact.
But
no, we really do appreciate you having. I think the conversation was super insightful. If y'all missed this episode, y'all playing, right? Yes. If you didn't get to the end of this episode, you're playing, right? Dana, just outro us. Let
them know where to find you.
Let them know where to find you.
So you can find me on Instagram. I am Dana Christian. Is the best way to contact me.
Okay, dope. And is that all platforms?
Well, on Facebook is Dana Christian.
Okay,
but I'm mostly on Instagram.
Okay, dope.
Okay. Well, appreciate you, Dana, for coming back to the old stomping grounds.
Yes.
Probably gonna hit some BBQs up or get a chopped cheese or something.
Hey man,
we gonna do something.
Hey, I ain't got no problem with it. I'm hungry. I ain't got no problem.
But yeah, it's been another great episode on the Millionaire Essentials podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon Pravada.
Yes, sir. It's Tevin Facey. Hey, before y'all go, just make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Also, guys, make sure you guys click the links below, right? If you want to tap in with Dana, if you want to tap in with Millionaire Essentials, make sure you click the link below. This has been another great episode of somebody we really, really wanted to interview, guys. I hope to talk to y'all soon.
Peace.